No way.
He's finding the grip. This is on purpose.
Look at the outside of that. That is just scary.
He's definitely my hero.
Yeah, the Terminator.
I love this one.
That's commitment.
Once every couple of years, we see a race that could be considered one of the best ever. If you hold an F1 TV Pro account or have any old VHS tapes containing some of these races sitting around, these races will provide plenty of amusement whenever F1 takes a weekend off. So what makes a classic title race? We have chosen the 7 best title-deciding races in F1 history. Number 7, Felipe Massa, Brazil 2008. Is relying on an overtake at the very last corner of the last lap? The setup was straightforward. A couple of drivers could conceivably win the title, youthful upstart second-year racer Lewis Hamilton and the more seasoned Felipe Massa. McLaren versus Ferrari, no affection was lost. This match took place in Brazil, specifically at Interlagos, Massa's home circuit. While this offered the Brazilian an edge, the fact that he needed to score heavily and hope Hamilton, the points leader, stalled worked against him. Coming into the last few circuits, Hamilton appeared to be cruising to win. Then it rained. Hamilton struggled to match the pace of Sebastian Vettel's underpowered Toro Rosso, and Massa took the title. A slowdown Timo Glock created one of Formula One's most dramatic moments by simply being a barrier Hamilton had to overcome, and the rest is history. Number 6, Sebastian Vettel, Abu Dhabi 2010. Some of Sebastian Vettel's 4 consecutive Formula One championships were won at a fast pace, but not all. For example, in 2010, he should not have become the champion at all. Arriving at Abu Dhabi's Marina circuit, Fernando Alonso led the championship, Vettel and teammate Mark Webber trailed with a chance to win the title, and Lewis Hamilton was 4th. With a mathematical chance, but one that required an extraordinary turn of luck. While Vettel led from the start, Alonso didn't need to do much to win. And after a brush with the wall that forced him to pit early for new tires, Webber's race was similar. The notion was that with fresh rubber, they'd be able to easily make their way back through the field and claim the title. However, Yas Marina is not a track designed for overtaking, or at least not in 2010. On lap 18, Alonso and Webber caught Vitaly Petrov's Renault, and passing was simply not an option. For the next 37 continuous laps, Alonso attempted to pass the Russian driver. It was a tight and frightening fight up front. Vettel could only keep racing to victory, but Alonso's battle with Petrov dragged on indefinitely. That simple pass never arrived. Alonso was trapped in 8th place while Vettel was the champion. Number 5, James Hunt, Fuji, 1976. Normally, you want both drivers in a title race to compete in the race that determines who wins the championship. But at Fuji in 1976, there were so many diverse circumstances at play that Niki Lauda's retirement after less than 2 laps had little impact on the drama. With Lauda out and several other top drivers struggling in the wet, James Hunt took the lead. In actuality, he led 62 laps. Hunt's tires, which were already struggling from being pressed to stay out front, began to deteriorate, and the Englishman began to lose ground. Hunt, suffering from a fully deflating tire, pitted and dropped down the order, needing to finish 4th to win the title with Lauda out. Hunt, who was running 7th with 3 laps remaining, beat Alan Jones and Clay Regazzoni at the finish line to claim the championship. But the passes were so late, and the race was so confusing that Hunt had no idea until he got out of his car. Number 4, Jacques Villeneuve, Jerez 1997. In the final race of the 1997 European Grand Prix in Jerez, the top 3 drivers qualified at the same time, and then a near-race-long duel between the 2 championship contenders determined the title. Following a remarkable qualifying session, the grid was established based on the times set by each driver. Jacques Villeneuve began on pole, but title challenger Michael Schumacher passed him from the start. Villeneuve chased Schumacher for 47 laps, arguably faster but making little progress. On lap 48, he closed the deficit and launched inside, completing a classic move and heading off to win the title. Except Schumacher turned in, collided with Villeneuve, and ended up in the gravel trap. Now, if you finished 5th or above, Villeneuve was the champion. Despite Schumacher's worsening situation, the Canadian's car was damaged by the crash. Villeneuve, having slowed from his prior speed, was a sitting duck for McLaren's David Coulthard and Mika Hakkinen. Villeneuve, limping but just alive, finished 3rd and won the title. In the end, it didn't matter because Schumacher was disqualified for the incident. Number 3. Kimi Raikkonen, Brazil, 2007. Lewis Hamilton has learned some bitter lessons throughout his long Formula One career, but few have been as devastatingly solid as the one he was taught during his rookie Formula One season. He remained 4 points ahead of teammate Fernando Alonso and 7 ahead of Ferrari's Kimi Raikkonen heading into the last race in Brazil. Hamilton got off to a terrible start, being passed by Raikkonen before the first corner and then by Alonso through turn 3. Then, in a desperate attempt to regain his position, he veered wide and finished 7th. This shouldn't have been a problem. Gain a couple of spots and Hamilton would have enough points to negate anything Ferrari accomplished up front. But clearly, his anguish thus far was not enough. By lap 6, Hamilton had reclaimed 6th place and appeared to be doing all necessary to retain his amazing title. But suddenly, he slowed. McLaren claimed he had gearbox trouble, others claimed he hit the pit limitation. But whatever the case, he was crawling and tumbling down the order. He went on a charge and made it back to 7th place, enough to win the title if Raikkonen finished 2nd. But as expected, Ferrari reversed their vehicles during the last pit stop phase, and Raikkonen won. Number 2. John Surtees, Mexico 1964. So, do you think the 2008 finale was really dramatic? Well, the end of the 1964 season might have something to say about it. This time, there were 3 contenders for the championship. John Surtees, Graham Hill, and Jim Clark could all handle it. Clark hit to win, with Surtees finishing no higher than 3rd and Hill 4th. Clark led from the start, with Hill battling Surtees' Ferrari teammate Lorenzo Bandini for the 3rd place and Surtees trailing in 5th. Then, Bandini collided with Hill's car, slamming the BRM into a barrier and destroying the exhaust. Hill could only limp along, hoping for good fortune or bad luck to strike his competitors. Number 1. Max Verstappen, Abu Dhabi 2021. If you don't recall, the 2021 season came down to a straight fight between 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton and then title contender Max Verstappen. It was that simple. Whoever finished higher would win the title. Hamilton was on a roll. He won the previous 3 races, erasing Verstappen's advantage in the title battle. So, they entered the last race on identical terms. For a while, it appeared that Hamilton's record-breaking 9th title was his to lose. But then, Nicholas Latifi occurred. A dispute between Latifi and Mick Schumacher resulted in the Canadian colliding with the wall and requiring a safety car. With only a few circuits to go, it appeared that was it. By the time cars had unlapped themselves and been permitted to catch up, the race was done. Verstappen dashed into the pits for some new tires in case anything else went wrong. Pitting under the safety car resulted in him rejoining in 2nd place, although he had numerous lapped vehicles between him and Hamilton. Now tell us, which one is your favorite season? If you enjoyed this video, be sure to explore our other content. Don't miss out on the opportunity to subscribe for more intriguing updates. We value your feedback, so please let us know if you found the video entertaining.